In today's documentary, we're exploring the pressing issue of educational inequality in the Philippines. Come with us as we ask our Colasalians questions about this ongoing problem.
First of all, we have to face the fact that here in the Philippines, education is no longer a human right. Kasi alam naman natin na dapat binibigyan ng talaga ng education ng isang tao. However, with the status of Philippines right now, it's more on a privilege rather than a right. So, dun papasok yung socioeconomic status na since walang capabilities yung ibang tao to support or to even have high quality education, yun na mismo yung nag-stop sa kanila to even have it na rights naman na nila pero hindi nila makuha kasi wala silang capabilities, which is nga financially capable dapat sila.
So I think socioeconomic status is important for good quality education in the Philippines because many low-income families often, struggle to cover the cost of tuition, school supplies, or even like daily transportation, and it makes it very hard for children to access good quality education. And aside from that, I think oftentimes they're discriminated or looked down upon.
I think what comes after this a very huge academic gap is generational poverty. Based on my observation, I think those individuals who did not go to school and are currently working in informal sectors pretty much stay there together with their family until they break the cycle of this generational poverty. So I think this long-term impact of academic gap that happened earlier on in history should be addressed, and because this is a very huge problem in the Philippines, and this applies to a lot of underprivileged communities in the Philippines, whether it be rural or urbanized communities. So I think this is a very pressing issue.
Siguro one thing is when students fall behind academically, I think it can often limit their future job opportunities. And like siguro, let's say like they only have access to certain jobs that often don't pay well or provide enough money. And I think this continues, a cycle of poverty, especially in underprivileged communities.
To answer this naman, probably I'll just give one per category that you mentioned. Financially, limit sa wage nila because we all know here in the Philippines, mababa ang wage. Kung ano yung minimum wage sa ibang bansa, mas minimum pa ang may makukuha mo dito sa Philippines. And that itself is already a barrier for low-income communities. Kasi, given the fact that here, masyado na mataas yung parang level of financial capability before you have education, dadagdag pa yung financial barrier, which is low wage. Social barrier, meron na agad siyang limitation when it comes sa thinking and educational background ng tao. Since we all know we have this mindset already na pag low-income community ka nabibelong, mas mababa yung knowledge mo when it comes to stuff. And I think yun din yung kailangan nating ayusin. Pero that's already the thinking. So yun na agad yung barriers na nagpe-prevent sa mga parents to support their children when it comes to education kasi may mindset na rin sila. Actually, it's a good thing na I'll share this too na may mindset na kasi yung mga nasa low-income communities na since nandun na sila, gusto din nila na gano'n na din yung maging future ng children sila. What am I saying basically, just to give example pa, is may thinking sila na mahirap na kami, hanggang doon na lang kami. So pinapasa nila yun sa children nila. So that's a dynamic na malalaman if you would go deeper when it comes to social aspect. Systemic, basically, just to answer this, wala tayong support from the government when it comes to handling this barriers when it comes to children's education. Binibigyan ba nila ng pagpapahalaga ang education? Basically, no. That's the direct answer to it. And with that, na wala nang support from the system itself here in the Philippines, mas nagkakaroon ng low chances of the parents to have this confidence to even support their children's education and their future.
I think cultural norms very much impacts our current status in our communities because we can already observe how work is more prioritized over education because sometimes it is very important to feed mouths first because that parang from that observation you need to prioritize something else that matters in life and it's life. So basically what you need to do is sustain what you have right now, which is through basic necessities, which is sometimes prioritized in this society of ours compared to education, which sometimes comes last or second to this priority.
Just like what you've mentioned dun sa other questions, limited. Since nga, mas focus sila sa work at hindi nila pinaprioritize or like, sinasantabi lang nila yung education for survival. Nagkakaroon siya ng mindset sa mga youth na yung work na lang tayo, huwag na tayo mag-aral. Parang diskarte na lang over diploma. That became a great argument then sa social media. If you've been active in social media, nagkakaroon sila ng thinking na didiskarte na lang ako sa may diploma, mas may mararating pa ako. And even though that's actually considerable argument because true enough, kapag may diskarte ka, may mararating ka rin naman. Hindi lang pwede na may pinag-aaral ka lang. Pero in reality of life, mas maganda if meron both. Because education will open more opportunities for people, especially for children. Kasi na-maximize din nila yung mga capabilities nila. Kasi pag may education, may training ground din sila.
I think the most common would be by raising awareness through social media, what else? Creating outreach programs in schools, and pushing for policies that support inclusive education. Because it's important that everyone's aware of this issue, and I think most people are aware, but they just don't take action. And I think it's really important that we take action because words without action is just meaningless.
I think society is very much informed already of this gap, but it very much lacks the proactive action or like the action itself in reducing this kind of educational crisis or like this gap. So what can we do? Basically, as society is that open more platforms in discussing about this problem. And at the same time, I think it is best to approach this problem by doing the action yourself, since I think it is best that you do it on your own and you already have the access to it. And basically what you can do right now is just research about it, and at the same time when you already know what to do, just do it on the ground, since I think that can be more effective than having a lot of platform all at the same time, but at the same time you're not doing the action. So that I think what can society do in order for us to be aware of this educational gap that we have in this country.
As we have discussed today, the problem of educational inequality in the Philippines is both challenging and concerning. Cultural norms, lack of resources, and socioeconomic status all play a part in a system that keeps high-quality education a distant goal for many and a privilege for some. However, we have also talked about the fact that this problem is not impossible to overcome. Together, we can break down these barriers through community advocacy, collective awareness, and active participation from every aspects of society, including families, schools, and faith-based groups. Volunteering, raising awareness, or advocating for local and national policy changes are all ways that each of us may make a difference.